So, hello everybody. Hello, and this is Suguwa, live right now for the Firefly Alpha. For the Firefly Alpha, uh, from my knowledge, this is the sixth flight of this mission, and it's going to carry LM 400, okay? LM 400 tech demo satellite for the Lockheed Martin, and I would say. There's a little bit I can tell you about this because yeah, I do get some information beforehand, so maybe I'll try. Yeah, I hope the drop frames is not that worse because no way. Okay, and maybe give me a little bit time. I will adjust a little bit of my avatar here. Okay, I hope this is helping. Finally, it looks like we are looking properly structured. Okay, so we are around T minus 10 minutes before liftoff, so we can go here. Let me instead pull you guys here to this stream. Okay. So I hope you guys can see this. This is the launch. Okay. Okay. So hopefully this is good. Okay. So you are not hearing that. Maybe I'll just open
chill
this
them
door
down.
here.
Make sure we're kind of
Okay,
adjusting the temperature of
so
those LOX pumps to not be.
here we go.
They're not going to flash the gas.
Uh,
Right, you don't want to surprise them with a big
this is the
dramatic
console now.
temperature change, right?
Yeah, we want to make sure
And-
everything's behaving as expected
Yeah.
and the temperatures that we expect when we go to pull the trigger. So that's happening right now. We've done ground side prep.
maybe
so
I
we've
can-
got
I can tell
TVC
a little
and
bit about this
start
rocket engine.
verification.
This
So thrust
the rocket
control
engine you
and
see there. There are
triethyl-aluminum
four
triethyl-borate.
Nice.
Yeah.
rocket
I believe
engines
you. You don't
clustered
have to
together.
convince me.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that
The
stands
rocket
for. I just know
engine
it's
is
like
Reaper, if I remember
Look, I'm a
correctly.
structures engineer,
Reaper.
not a chemist.
And
It just
for
really
the
wants
upper
to be on
stage,
fire
it's
to light the engine.
lightning,
So
basically
yeah, it really
an
does.
optimization of
we've
Reaper,
got
and
some
both
fuel pre-press
using
happening. We might be able
both-
to see the stage 2
both
TVC
consuming
whistles coming up here. This
Reaper
camera right
oxygen
here
as
might actually show those checking out for smooth
as
movement
the
and stuff.
oxidizer,
Yeah, so
and
here on this camera, we might see those reavers start to
and
wiggle a bit. What
basically
we're
a
looking for
hyper-
there is not only that they do
let's
move
just
because
say
we're expecting them to move, but also that
refined
they move
kerosene
smoothly. So that there's not an
RP1
indication
rocket
of
propellant
air in the lines
one.
or
Don't
anything
like
like that.
judder or jitter or anything like that.
And again, we do all this
rocket
beforehand
propellant one
and make
as
sure the
the
rocket's healthy so that when we go to fly,
the
we don't
refined
run into any of
kerosene
these
as the
issues.
We don't get down to like T-8
Steer.
or T-7, like, hey, we should
And,
probably check the
yeah,
TVC now. Like that was happening
everything is
early
good.
this
That's
morning.
awkward. We should have done that before.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
And
All
for
right, so we're going to go to internal power. We're going to see some more things on
Okay.
the screen, sort of big motions, like the
Prospect
collar arms
13.
opening up, the strong back retracting away from the rocket to get out of the way,
Yeah.
arming of the flight termination system. We won't really see that, but we are going to see some more venting as they start to bleed the fuel.
Yeah, we should see that on the cameras.
so give me some time.
Right. So, folks, we continue to count down here now, T-minus 9 minutes, it looks like. We're going to keep going through all of these different cameras to show you the different views of the rocket as it wakes up for this early morning launch.
Well, that's the cool stuff.
It really
We
is.
want to show the cool stuff.
It is the cool stuff. Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about what's going to happen after launch, because we have some specific expectations after launch this morning.
Yeah. So approximate timing for what's going to happen when we start to get closer to T0. At T-minus 2 seconds, we're actually going to ignite our reavers on stage 1. What that does, why we do it at T-minus 2 seconds, is to not only give them some time to spool up into full power, but also to kind of, again, health checks, make sure everything's fine.
Like stabilize.
Stabilize, make sure everything's good before we let it go. We don't want to let it go and then be like, oh, wait a second.
By the way,
yeah.
right.
So T-minus 2 seconds is stage 1 ignition. At T-minus 0, we actually open up those mechanisms that hold Alpha down on the ground,
Right.
and we start to lift off. And then we'll be flying for about a minute, and then we'll go supersonic. We'll hit Mach 1.
Right.
And then a couple seconds after that, we'll actually hit something called Max Q.
Max Q is important.
Max Q, near and dear to my heart.
As a structures engineer.
As a structures engineer, yeah. So max Q is maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Right.
And what that means for a rocket, at least, is we're going faster and faster and faster, but we're also going into a thinner and thinner atmosphere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, folks, on
Just
the
like-
screen really quickly, we'll interrupt. You can see that right above me here, the clock has gone
Yeah.
into a hole.
And
It sounds like there is currently an
I
issue with the
guess
spacecraft that the
since
team
we
is
still
working.
have
So that
time,
clock is going to
so,
stop right there just above 8
I'll give
minutes.
you
Now,
more
we're
detail
going to keep
what you
talking
need
to
to
you,
do.
and we'll get you more
what you need to
information
know.
as soon as we have it. Let's keep talking about what will happen here after liftoff. Going to assume that we're going to get a new T0 here.
Oh,
But we
by the
can
way,
jump
hello.
all the way down to Miko.
Hello.
The main engine cut off, and we were starting to talk about the stage separation, right?
Yeah, so after we shut off our stage 1 engines, we'll start to shed mass that we don't need anymore.
Right.
So we'll have
So yeah,
nominal stage
today
set
we are
at
going
T plus 2
to
minutes and 37
witness the
seconds.
launch of
So
Firefly
the primary
Alpha.
function
This
of
is
the
a
first stage is
two-stage
to take us on a
orbital
kind of
rocket
suborbital
the
elliptical
LM400
trajectory out of
demo
the
satellite
Earth's
for
kind of
Lockheed
the majority
Martin.
of the Earth's atmosphere.
Basically,
And what
this
stage 2 does
satellite,
is to
the
take us
bus
to a proper
is
orbit.
specifically
So once stage
for,
1 has done its job,
let's just say for
we just kind of, we're like, okay,
for
thank
those
you,
in
bye.
So it's sort of
for
like the
those
first,
in
the booster itself, the larger
the
part of
US
the rocket,
military
gets you up out of the
defense
atmosphere.
kind of
Most
stuff,
of its
but
trajectory is
I
up.
assume
Yeah.
maybe commercial
And then the
customer
second stage sort of
might be
needs you to
using this
go
as some-
around the planet. Like if you
Could
want
be,
to
could be.
go into space,
So,
that's
hello,
fine.
hello.
You can just jump straight up. Guess what?
Welcome.
Jump straight back down again. If you want to stay in space,
Okay,
via
and
an
looks
orbit,
like we
you
have
actually have to end up
all
going
around
the
T-minus
Earth, and that's really the job of
14
that second
minutes
stage to get that
11
horizontal
seconds, yeah.
velocity as you sort of
Looks like there is
gravity
fall.
pulls you down towards the planet.
So for
right?
now,
Yeah.
Your spacecraft falls down towards the planet, but if you get going
Mm-hmm.
fast enough, the planet actually curves away from you at the same rate that you sort of go around the planet. Your velocity is
Yeah.
taking you around the planet.
So you
second
hear the
stage
expansion.
really doing a lot
One of the
work
reasons
there, not
why
just to,
the
get you
rockets
into
actually
space, but
it
actually keep
doesn't
you
go
in space.
straight,
Yeah,
but
keep you
this
falling
orbital
forever.
rocket
Falling
doesn't go
forever,
straight, but
exactly.
instead it
So yeah,
after that
after
it
stage
teach
set,
off a
you'll
little
see
bit,
a bunch of
a
things
bit
happening really quickly.
until you see it's
You'll
like
see,
turning somewhere else.
sorry,
Properly.
random voices in our ears. Give
No,
us
That's
a
it's all
because
good.
it
We're
wants,
continually getting
it
updates
wants
here
to
that we'll
use
share with you. A
to use
quick
that,
reminder, folks.
how
We
do I
do
say,
have a
those,
52-minute window this morning,
those
so they've
Earth's
got time to
gravity
work
and
on that
also-
spacecraft issue. You'll see that the clock
and
has
also,
jumped up a
let's
little
just
bit
say, like,
there to put some
take
more time
advantage
to
of the
work
Earth
through this.
convergence
Currently still
together
in a
with
hold,
the
but we were targeting the beginning of the
the
window
vehi-
there. We had lots of time
with the
to actually
rocket,
work through this,
um,
and we're going to keep
rocket
hanging out with you
velocity,
here
or
in the meantime.
AKA,
Yeah.
let's just say the most usual word would be
Sounds
speed
like we
like
have another
that,
go-no-go
even though
roll
that's
here,
not
so let's listen
100%
back into
accurate.
mission control.
Just to gradually speed it up to the point where the rockets or the satellite can now finally orbit around the Earth. In this case, if I remember, oh yeah, hello, you're the man. Hello, welcome. Yes, that's welcome. Let me see. Okay, let me do some. Okay, so yeah, right now you to anyone's watching here, and just in case I need to tell you, looks like we have hold around T minus 14 minutes and 11
This
seconds.
is the launch
Yeah,
conductor on the
hello.
countdown net with a readiness check for entering recycle operations.
Okay, recycle
RC,
operation.
Go. FSW.
Go.
GSW.
Go.
GNC.
Go.
Fluids 1.
Go.
Prop 1.
Go.
AVI. Hold. FTS.
Go.
FISPO.
Go.
IFCO.
Go.
PMM.
Go.
MA.
Go.
OSM.
Go.
CE.
Hold.
MD. LD.
AVI and CE, this is just for recycle operations.
Okay,
Recycle
looks like we
operations.
have recycle operation.
You
What's
guys go for
what's happening there?
Recycle operations.
LD is go.
Copy.
Looks like from what we can see, all of this indication looks like there is like only 3 is still on hold. And yeah, hello again, you're the man. Looks like we have hold around T minus 14 minutes and 11 seconds. Well. From what I can see, it looks like the avionics system and also some, let's just say, some miscellaneous things things there looks like looks like they have to recycle back. Maybe another let's just say another way we say this recycle back is like restart and reset some of the system, and hopefully it works. Yeah, you know. And looks like we are in the stream slightly kinda longer than we should, but it's fine. I mean, while we are still waiting, why not I give you guys a little bit explanation about the rockets that we are going to launch for today? Okay.
LC on CD1. You resume locks cross-country chill auto sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Still running. Copy. NGC verify the helium autos are toggled high.
All right.
Helium autos are good on CD1.
Mm-hmm. Okay. They are still checking there. Okay. This can be taking a little bit while there. I'm not sure. Is this going to be scrubbed? But basically just another way to say not launching for today.
All right, folks, we're going to keep listening in here. The best way to get up-to-date information is to let you listen directly to mission control instead of us listening and then relaying it. So, as a reminder, we have a 52-minute window. We're just eating into it a little bit here, but almost an hour to work through these issues. We're going to keep listening into mission control because that's the best way to get you up-to-date information. So keep on hanging out, listen in, and let's see what they work through.
Okay, so basically when they said like 52 minutes window, if I remember, this will open up until yeah, it looks like from our local time here it's like 9:17 p.m. right? Yeah, so if this is 52 minutes cycle according to our local time, not that local time on the launch control or the launch pad.
As we continue to listen in here, Morgan, there was actually another poll.
Looks like it will be up until 10:09 p.m. So if they cannot sort,
Yeah.
yeah. So if they cannot sort that out within that time,
Terminal count configuration auto sequence.
okay, running.
CELC CD1 verify we are still go for terminal count with LCCs.
Okay,
Inward.
still will go for the terminal count.
We need to switch to flight mode.
Okay, switch back to the flight mode. Basically, they are the rockets is now currently be
What we're
preparing.
listening into now are the recycle operations. That poll that
Okay,
we saw come
reset.
up was not another launch
Reset
poll,
back
but a
to
poll for the teams to
before-
proceed into
before they proceed
resetting the
back
rocket,
to
getting ready for
the
another attempt.
launch countdown.
Yeah.
Basically
and we
like
do this for a number of reasons. The team is super prepared. This is just kind of part of launch ops. And we also,
VCLC on
one of the reasons we can
CD1.
do this is we fill our
Mhm.
VCLC CD1.
Go on CD1.
Okay, so I guess while we are still waiting.
VC load the alpha terminal count config auto sequence.
Need to switch to flight mode.
Okay, maybe like being funny today. Let me go here, and
Can we go to flight mode?
also Yoda man, I hope you're still there. Hang on, because looks like we are still waiting. Okay, looks like
We have met the terminal.
we are
count.
back around T-minus 17 minutes, and now we are counting around T-minus 16 and 40 minutes and 40 seconds to go.
Run hide SB auto pinner engage auto sequence. And verify HPU startup it gets completed. VC run and load and run deluge terminal count configuration auto sequence.
It's already loading.
Expected alarm.
Okay, I hope this is going, because once everything's go,
VC verify slash set vehicle state machine is in flight mode.
okay, Windows 11 stuff here. Not something
VC
we
verify HPU startup gets complete and SP auto pinners get positive pressure.
okay.
And VC run the hide collar arm engage auto sequence.
So if
And
you see
verify that the collars get there.
why do I stop there? Because I have to focus
to 3
to
SB
the,
at 90.
to the call out there. So maybe in case if I know what is it, I can translate for you what they are saying.
VC verify the battery charging autos are not still running.
Okay, this is for the checking the battery on board
This
of
is the launch
the
conductor on the countdown net
on
with
the
some
rocket
readiness
itself.
report
That's
for
what they're
terminal count. RC.
Go.
okay.
LSW.
Range controller.
Go.
GSW.
Go.
GNC.
Go.
Prop 1.
Go.
Fluids 1.
Go.
Structures.
Go.
AVI.
AVI go.
FTS.
Go.
GC.
Go.
VC.
Go.
PMM.
Go.
LO.
Go.
FISBO.
Go.
MIFCO. OSM.
Go.
ROC.
Hypersonic.
MA.
Go.
CE.
C's go.
LD.
Go.
LDA.
LDA clear.
CE confirm LCC is met and terminal count is clear to proceed. VC run the terminal count auto sequence.
LCCs are met.
Alright, so right now auto sequence is already started
Missed it.
around
We have to reset.
T minus 15 minutes, correction, T minus 15 minutes and counting. And right now we are proceeding to the stage 1 engine chill. So what does it mean about the engine chill right now is that the rocket,
clock. We heard when it goes there
that the first stage of the rocket engine, if you see those big,
hold there as we were counting down towards
you see
Flight
those
6 of
big
Firefly's Alpha rocket.
circle, let's
Currently
say
we're
IC,
showing under
white
just
IC
around
there,
14 and a half minutes there.
up
Let's
until
watch to
the
see
upper,
if that gets an update
let's
here
just say
shortly.
upper stage there,
Teams
basically the second
going
stage
through all of their
version of
training. They've done this
the
before.
first
They
stage.
practice this sort of
Basically
thing.
what it does
Everyone's
is that
communicating
it's
there in the back
cooling
channel,
down
and
those
we're actually letting you listen right to it. We're not
rocket
trying
engines,
to
all four rocket engines.
translate for you or control the message.
First
That
stage,
is like piping
basically
directly
it
from
cools
mission
down,
control
it cools
straight
down
here
so
to the live stream.
we'll be
So
able
you'll
to
have the
prepare
best
not only for
update
the flight
information.
but also to light up those engines, because lighting up those engines is really
Here,
pretty
if we
hot.
hear them
It's not
talking
just
again,
like
we'll be
something
quiet all of a
just
sudden
do
so y'all
one
can
thing,
listen.
and
But things like this,
it's not
recycling,
like you
resetting
just
the
do one thing
T0,
and
normal
get it
things
everything.
for launch operations.
If you try
Yeah,
to plan it
for
right
Firefly,
away
it's
without
kind of
feeling it,
run-of-the-mill.
without
We
cooling
recycle even
that
when we do
rocket engine
stage
out,
DPs
it's
as
going
breaks.
to melt
So this
pretty
is
fast
completely
and pretty
kind of run-of-the-mill, nothing special.
so we don't want to see
So
that.
like during testing, you
Uh,
do recycle. Is that
yes,
on
excuse
practicing
me,
recycles or
let me drink something.
Still running.
I'm drinking
And
hot
GC
chocolate right now,
verified that helium autos are triggered high.
so please don't mind about this.
GNC LC on CD1.
Go for GNC.
Confirm the upper level wind and assessments are going to be good for the new T0 when you can.
Confirm that
Right.
upper level winds assessment is still valid.
Copy, you looking at Sun Alpha 28.3.
Oh yeah, and also if you see those some, let's just say those vapor
Go.
translate a little bit.
pulling out from the rocket itself, it's
Sounds
actually
there like the upper level winds
venting
were
out
still
all of
good.
that pressure out, because you need to remember it's not only just constantly freezing, it's also because it does, let's just say it does vaporize some of that liquid into gas and what's on. So if it's not venting out as soon as possible, the pressure is going up and up to the point it might destroy
Of
the
course,
rocket.
the winds are
rocket
something that we
itself
can't
and might
really see.
destroy
The
the
upper level
tank.
winds we can't see
So
on the camera, but
so
the
that's
rest
why
of this, the clouds, the
venting-
sky above the launch
That's
pad
why
are looking
venting is
great
very
this morning.
important. As you can see, those
Yeah, we have two
vapors
conditions to
out
stay
there.
below, one
I
for
believe
upper
that
level winds and one for
that's
lower
actually
level,
the
and we're
liquid
still
oxygen.
green for both of those.
It's
That's
pretty
what you
cold.
like to hear. And it didn't sound like we were in a situation
Around
where,
minus
oh,
6,
if we don't hit the beginning of the
minus
window, the weather's going to
100
rapidly deteriorate. You hear
8
that in
degrees
launch.
Celsius or 100,
Yes, ma'am.
minus
The
100,
updated T0 is
92
now
degrees
live
Celsius.
and
So
clock is counting down. We're
that's
waiting on
pretty
feedback
cold
from the
there, you
range
know.
as far as final approval, which I should get in about 8 minutes here. We're at T-minus 25 minutes and counting.
Copy. Is there anything they can do moving down?
Yeah, my avatar looks funny, isn't it? When drinking.
And quick update there.
But rest assured, I'm still looking at the screen.
There we go. So, quick update there. We heard T-minus 25 minutes. So we've pulled the clock off the top of the screen so that we can get that resynchronized with the new T0. Sounds like they were waiting on one final approval from the range, it sounded like.
Oh, approval from the range, I believe.
But Alpha
A range controller,
looking good
maybe?
on the pad. There we have
Looks like
a clock
the-
that slid back over.
We are cycling
Have a
back to T-minus 25.
52-minute window this morning, so sometime, that's why we're targeting the beginning of the window. Weather was looking great. The launch vehicle was looking
only
great.
the range
Just
control.
ran into that one brief hold, but we are back on the count. T-minus 25 minutes and counting down.
Alright, looks like this is the final chance for them. Probably the final chance for
Same
for
story.
them
We're going to listen in, and
to continuing.
if we hear anything
if
from
the
Mission
problem
Control,
still,
we'll be quiet and let you hear that. If we get any updates on
so
our
if the
headsets,
problem
we'll
still
we'll share them with
still
you
any
as
problem
well.
arises here,
But while we're waiting,
maybe let's say
we've got
they
a couple
hold again,
questions that have
it
come
means
through chat.
we are
Remember,
not
if you
going
have questions
to
for us, tag us in
right.
chat.
We are
At
not going to much
Firefly
them.
Space
But
over
hey,
there. That'll get it into our
so,
back channel queue.
so I have to
And
change
we might have a little bit of
this
time
to
here to answer
live stream,
some of them. But one of them that came through, name of the mission is
and
Message in a Booster. What's the message?
for your information,
Ooh.
this
I didn't
this
study. I didn't study
this launch place we are looking right now
We
is
need to
from
ask Lockheed
the
Martin what the
Vandenberg
message is.
Yeah.
Space Force Base.
Is the message. So
the launch pad here,
the spacecraft
actually,
that Lockheed
it
Martin
used to
is
host a
launching, that's
Delta
the
II
client payload
rocket
today.
there.
Like
You
we
know,
mentioned earlier,
if you know
LM400
the
is a satellite.
Delta
It's like
II
a demonstration
rocket,
satellite.
it's
Yeah,
basically like
all sorts of
imagine
different capabilities, right?
Yeah,
it looks
radar,
like
imaging,
this one,
kind
like
of
the
communications
Firefly
stuff.
Alpha
Yeah,
rocket,
which
but
is,
if you
again, messaging
strap
booster, that was
all
the inspiration for the name.
So
nine
either the spacecraft is the
solar
message, or
rocket
the
booster
spacecraft can send whatever
strapped
message you need it to
in
send
side by
because
side
it's a demonstration
to the
satellite.
I'm picturing like
first
a little
stage rocket there.
alpha-shaped glass
It's
bottle
really
bobbing
crazy.
through the
I
ocean
think,
with the little LM400
yeah,
inside.
I think
Nice. If
I
you
think
see
maybe I
when
can
we do
try
some of the scene
it.
transitions, you
I can
can
try
see
search
the
for
mission patch there
MD.
as well, and you sort of have the
Yeah.
rolled up message coming out.
Fun fact, it also makes a little 6.
It does make a little
Yeah.
6. See, we're supposed to point that
Okay.
out at the end, but we're going to point it out right now because Chad asked the question.
Point it out right now. Yeah.
Okay. I think, yeah. So, okay. So this is how Delta II rocket looks
And
like.
one more thing you'll see,
With
oh, the sun just
9
come up in the background
solid
there.
rocket,
Gives us a rocket
9
silhouette
solid
to work
rocket
with.
engine here.
The venting that you see coming out of the rocket. A bunch of people are asking,
All of
is
the
rocket
configuration
venting?
is here.
Is that normal for the venting to be coming
This
out of
is
the
what
rocket?
the
Does that mean it
Delta
has
II
a
rocket
hole
looks
in it
like
or something?
up until
Which technically it does have a hole, but it's
end
a
of the program
intentionally engineered
around
control hole, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
around
this
September
also kind of
2018.
ties
I
back
remember
to
I
recycle.
actually witnessed the
When we
launch of
fill
the
our
ice
cryogenic
set.
fluid, we fill it comparatively warm.
Basically, they
Right.
What
do a
some
little
companies
bit
might
study
fill.
about
Some companies do something that's basically
about
called
the
like boom
ice
and go. Where as soon as
ship
they
around
fill
the
their
world,
cryogenic fluid, the cryogenic
how
fluid
it,
is as
it
cold as they
interacts
can
and
get,
how the climate
and they
change
have to go
basically
immediately. What
shed off
Firefly
some
does
of
is
the
a little bit
ices and
different. We
whatsoever.
load
So
warm,
this is how the Delta II
and
rocket
the entire
actually
time the
looks
Alpha's
like.
out there sitting on
All
the
the
pad, it is
configuration
actually
you can
boiling
see here.
off
Some of
liquid
it
oxygen,
just
getting to
basically
kind of
blended
that
with
steady state.
no
So what you're seeing right there
production
is that
there.
boil off, and as we have some of that LOX
Okay,
boil off,
on the
as
solid
it gets
rocket.
colder and colder,
No, on
we
the
will actually
payload
refill
fairing.
as
Some of
needed.
it, them a little bit
Right,
stuck
and you see
here.
that there. It's almost like a.
Doesn't looks
Say
like
it's like a tea
talk
kettle, and
the,
people are like, "Yeah, rocket's nothing like a tea kettle."
how do you say?
I mean, but kind
Like
of like the
here,
physics that are happening here. The
on
boil
the
off. You don't want
third
the rocket
side
to
here.
build up
The
pressure,
second
go
one
higher and
looks
higher and
like
higher. You
like
actually
lost
maintain
on
that
there.
pressure by
And the
releasing
third looks like
some
a
of
before.
the
Yeah,
ice
some
propellant. Is
short,
really
some
the right way to say
deep.
it, right?
Yeah,
That's basically
we use
how
this during test as well. So
Delta
our
II
testing
rockets look.
campaigns, we
And
retest
here's
the hell out of
is
this thing.
how
So a lot of
how it
part
looks.
of my
It
job is actually
yeah.
making
It
sure that our
sometimes
structures
when
are
we
capable
launch,
to
sometimes
withstand
it's
flight loading.
It's more involved than just tapping
let's
on the
just say
drones,
sometimes
right?
More
it
involved than just tapping, yeah. So
it
what
does a
we'll do,
little
we'll
bit
take each individual airframe
sacrifice
out
there,
to
you know,
test
or
stage
how do I say
Right.
before, and
in the
we'll
Delta
hook it up to our
for
big load head, and we'll
rocket
squish
stuff.
it.
They
We'll squish
they
it,
call this
and
how
we'll
do I
press
say they
it.
call this
If it
basically
is
a
a
stuff
cryogenic
Count will
tank,
be in
we'll
1
fill all
rocket
the
minute.
cryogenic
plus
fluid.
stuff simulation
Terminal
stuff.
count will be in
So
1
this is how it
minute.
looks like. Oh, so this
Good
is
deal. You have
for
1 minute to finish your
missed
answer.
Got 1
launch
minute to
actually.
finish.
It's going to be 20 minutes there on the clock. It sounds like.
Okay,
But yeah, we'll
so
fill it
for
with cryo
this
fluid. If
now,
it's a
from
cryo
what I
tank,
can see,
we'll press it to
looks
the pressures that we
this
expect to see during flight loads.
launch
Actually, we'll press
actually
it to a
might
little bit over just to make sure.
With
Like,
some margin.
might
with the
actually
margin. We
take
overtest
place
it a little
on.
bit, and we'll do the same thing with the load that we apply
Oh.
axially.
Oh,
And yeah, after we
that's
do
another
that,
way to
we'll
explain it.
inspect it. I'll hop inside and I'll tap around
You'll
with my
tap
little
around?
hammer. Yeah,
So
and then
basically
we'll
that's it.
actually close it up, give it to integration. At that point, I'm mostly hands off.
Yeah, and also
and
if you
integration
see
will then
Dream
bolt it
is
all together
kinda
into a
iffy
stage,
there,
and we'll
kind
test
of
the
pretty
stage where
slowly
we'll just
test.
run it through kind of like this, but chopped in half.
The
All right. So, folks,
the
again, we're getting ready to hear
connection,
another
like,
go, no
the
go poll
breathing,
here in just about 15
but-
seconds. Let's listen back into Mission Control and get the
but that's like
best information straight from them.
Okay,
This
let's
is the
listen in.
launch conductor on the countdown net with a ready report
Let's hear.
terminal count. RC,
Go.
FSW,
Go.
GSW,
Go.
GNC,
Go.
Prop 1,
Go.
Fluids 1,
Go.
Structures,
Go.
AVI,
AVI, go.
FTS,
Go.
GC,
Go.
VC,
Go.
PMM,
Go.
LWO,
Go.
FISPO,
Go.
MIFCO, OSM,
Go.
ROC,
Go.
MA,
Go.
CE,
C's go.
LD,
Go.
LDA.
LDA, clear to launch.
Okay. So how about? Oh, okay. So how about those range
Count
operations?
LCC gate has
Oh,
opened.
looks like everything is go.
BC, run terminal count, auto sequence.
Copy.
All right. So auto sequence looks like we've started. Nice. So looks like we don't have any problem. We can move on and continue
BC,
for
pop
this
out
flight.
auto sequence,
Got a
pop
lot
out
of
display,
goes
and be ready
there.
to abort. Navigate to the autos page for monitoring.
All
and
right.
access to the hang fire button.
All right. Looks
GC,
like
pop out the safety tab, go to the FireX page. Only LD can call out individual FireX commands prior to liftoff.
Copy.
all right. So you have already listened in. Looks like they no longer have any
All right,
big
so
problem,
now
and
under
we are able to
19
continue.
minutes, you saw the gear,
And
you heard
around T
the
minus
goes
15
all the way down the board. The clock
at T
is
minus
once
50
again
minutes,
ticking for Flight 6
the
here. It's
flight
Firefly
control
Alpha
systems
rocket
on top of the
launching out of Vandenberg
itself
Space
will
Force Base.
will
Now,
finally
since we're back under the
start. The
20-minute
auto
mark,
sequence will start, and
using a little bit of that window,
around that
let's
start
once
time
again
also,
talk through what we
the
expect
first
as we
stage,
count down to launch. Things are going to
first
start
stage,
happening very quickly here.
rocket
They
engine,
happened really
all
quickly.
4 rocket
We
engines
got that
are
old, and now they're going to start happening quickly again.
Beaver
They're gonna
rocket
do it again.
engines will finally
Rewind,
start
we're gonna do
chilling.
this all
Chilling
over again.
basically another
Yeah,
way to
so
say
pretty soon
cooling
here,
down those
we're
rocket
gonna,
engines to
again,
the
recheck
operating
everything that we
temperature,
checked before,
to the
just to ensure,
operating
again,
temperature
everything is
that
still healthy.
even when it
So we're gonna
ignites
do that
and
stage
it
run engine chill
going
again.
pretty
We're gonna
hard.
pull in that ground side
We are
prep,
talking
so the
about
T-10,
inside the
TTC
combustion
wiggles,
chamber.
you
It's
can see it again on the
basically
cameras. Same thing with spin
let's
start
say it's
verification, so
around
we'll see that, but
Right.
it'll be happening
it's
in the background.
basically
We'll start fuel pre-press
kind
at
kind of
T-minus 8
around
minutes,
around the
and then
temperature
at T-minus 7 minutes, you should be
of the
seeing some
surface of the
stage 2
sun,
TVC
and then
wiggles.
They'll
So
have
and then
to.
when
I don't know if we have a camera on
oh,
the stage 2.
yeah,
Oh,
something
do
like
not.
that.
I don't know. We'll
And then
see. If we see
when
it on
it
the screen, we'll see
expels
it.
out,
Master doesn't know.
when all of
Wild.
these exhaust goes fast,
At
and
T-minus
what's
6
on
minutes, Alpha will actually transition
outside
to
of the
internal power.
nozzle,
Right.
So
basically
right now she's hooked up to ground side.
basically
we do that
the temperature
because
will be
why
around
waste internal batteries
half
if we
of
don't
that
have to?
Yeah, you don't need to sit there on the ground
temperature
for 2 hours on
of the
internal
sun.
power.
So
Just
that's
go
why
into sort of shore power.
Yeah,
rocket
exactly. We're
rocket
putting into
engine
shore
healing
power,
or
but we need
basically
to make sure that,
cooling it
again, all
down
about the health
is
of the
pretty
system,
important,
that
so it
Alpha
doesn't
can run
melt
under internal
those
power
rocket engines.
just as
Otherwise,
is expected.
it cannot
So we
operate,
unplug
and
it at around T-minus
tons
6
of
minutes.
problem
We transition to that internal power state.
will basically
Contracts, that kind of good
goes
stuff.
in,
Give it some
and
time to
will
make sure,
be
like you unplug it and then
huge
you let the
trouble.
rocket run on
But
its own to
fortunately,
make sure
looks
that
like we
everything's
are
working
good.
in advance of launch. You don't just unplug it right at T0 and see if
Go,
it
go,
works.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not how it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Play.
So you'll also start to see at around T-minus 5 minutes and 45
What's happening? What's happening?
seconds, those collar arms will
What's happening? What's happening? Are you good? Are you good? What's happening? Oh no!
So those guys will open up is to help stabilize Alpha
Okay.
during high wind conditions.
Looks like we are
Sandy
we are
is right
good.
next to
We
the
are back
ocean,
again.
Super windy
Yeah,
out there.
sometimes
And there are certain
yeah,
cases
but-
where we can't let Alpha stand
But
if it's too
I guess
heavy.
Right.
So the
you can
collar arm's
see-
going to help stabilize.
and
It just like it clamps onto the sides of the rocket. The
more
strong
frames
back
there.
here, the strong
I
back's on the
can
right-hand
see
side of your view. Still sort of see it there. That's a great shot of
obvious.
the strong back.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Providing
not
additional
very good.
support. You don't need to carry that structure to space with you.
Almost
I would hope not.
6,000
Would not be a thing. That's like a
Little
Kerbal
heavy.
Space
That's
Program if that
crazy.
goes with you.
It's
But
wow.
that will sort of get back out of the way. The collar arms open up. We'll see if we see
What's
that
he doing?
happening here. What is that? T-minus 5 minutes 45 seconds. So just about 10 minutes from now, we'd expect that to
And
happen.
it's now
Yeah.
around
Strong back.
And the strong back. Yeah,
6,100
the strong back itself
block
will
frames.
completely kind
What
of pull
the
back the
hell?
table.
Since I start
And that's
this,
just to get out of the way, because, well,
This
A,
could-
we don't need the support
what-
when we're about to go, and
Right.
B, we don't
What's
want to
even
crisp
happening?
it while we're going.
what
We want to
happened?
make sure it's kind of a safe distance away.
You've got the umbilicals and the plugs and all the things that are sort of fueling the rocket, the data, the telemetry, the shore power we sort of talked about as if Alpha was a recreational vehicle, I guess, like an RV, like rolls up to the campsite and plugs in. It's kind of
So
like that, I guess.
what should we do?
RV campsite, Slick 2.
Slick too, yeah.
Maybe-
You have to have a special pass to camp there.
Yeah, yeah.
But you don't want
Maybe-
those to get
maybe I'll
too
try
twisted.
reset
So by
that
leaning
a
that
little
strong
bit.
back out of the way,
I'll
you
try
sort of
to
get
change.
them out of
So-
harm's way, fire's way, whichever way you want to say it.
Come on!
Yeah, the point is to reuse this
You
thing.
can drop-
reuse the TVCs. Excuse me.
Drop frame.
Reuse the strong back, the
No.
tail. And so yeah, we'll pull that back out of the way. Like
Okay.
you were saying.
Yep.
Okay.
At T-minus 4
Five,
minutes, we'll actually
calm,
arm the
calm.
FTS.
Five,
The FTS is
we are
required
calm.
on all launch vehicles.
And the
Okay,
FTS is
and
the
auto
flight
sequence
termination
start has
system.
already
Yes. Yeah, so that is
already begun
that's kind of a standard
at T
requirement.
minus 15
again,
minutes,
for all
and
launch
also we
It's
are
a safety thing.
just a safety thing.
stage
Yeah.
So
1
we'll arm that at T minus 4
rocket engine
minutes,
chill.
and then at T
Okay,
minus,
another
you
way
can
to
see
say
engine
is
chill actually
pull
Yeah,
on
look
the
at
the
cameras.
engine out,
Well,
so
you
it's
can see it for a
not
second. I mean, I guess
Kind
what
of.
so
you
it doesn't
see
melt.
is
So
the propellant's actually flowing through the
while the
engines
rocket engine's still
to
up
thermally
and
condition
running.
them, get them down to that
Oh,
operating
and
temperature. Look at that.
Yeah, so you
and
can
in
see
case you
right
want to know
there on the
what's
kind of
that,
bottom
that's
right side of the screen. It's
that's
very
also part of
gaseous
the.
right
Yep.
now. As
If
we
I
start
remember,
it's
that's
very
also
thin and
part
kind
of
of
the.
airy. As we start to chill in more, that will look
Yeah.
more and more like fluid, kind of like water.
Like a liquid coming
if I
out instead
remember
of a
correctly,
little puff of gas.
something
Yeah,
you
and
see
why it's
that
doing that is again, this fluid is negative 300
that
degrees
that
Fahrenheit.
vapor
So
stuff
as soon as it
coming out
hits the hot,
coming out
humidity
of the
air, it
rocket
is
engine. If I
washing
remember,
away.
that's also part of the.
In fact, you can
People
almost see like
stuff,
spurts on the one. This
so
is,
some of
we
it
really
is
do
now
argue for
currently
these sorts of
spinning
cameras, like the
inside the
wide beauty
turbine
shots that
on
like
the
show, oh, here's a
pre-burner, even
rocket
though
on the launch
it
pad. It's
doesn't burn
fantastic.
anything right now.
But the
Because
engineering
it wants
cameras
to
are always like, can we please
cool it,
get the engine, can we
cool
get the
that
engine
rocket
behind
engines
those?
up,
Can
you
we
know.
get the TVC cam, please? Like, yeah, we'd like to
So
see the up
it's
close of the
everything's
collars retracting.
good,
That would be
you know.
fantastic.
Yeah.
How do we get that?
Yeah, they're great to see. It's honestly kind of a testament to just the insane engineering that goes into kind of putting a rocket together like this.
Right.
To actually see it on camera.
Excellent. As the sun continues to come up there, we're getting some really good backlighting on the venting, the plumes there sort of coming off the top of the first stage, I guess that's sort of the top of the second stage, in the middle of the second stage there. It's very vapory. It's hard to see exactly where it's coming from. But
yeah, that's coming out of our kind of our inner stage. So the top of our first stage, the bottom of our second stage.
Gotcha. So again, here, folks, this morning,
Yeah.
counting down.
Guess you want
just
to
about
know.
across T-minus 13
This rocket
minutes.
engine is
You see
sort
the
of
sun rising over there in the east
the
out at
gas
Vandenberg Space
generator.
Force
Let's
Base.
say it's something
Alpha's on the pad,
more like
payloads on
an
top. and we
evolution of the
continue
gas
to count
generator.
down.
If
Mission
I
controls
remember
there
correctly,
too.
this
They're
this is
important.
what we
Of
call
course,
it as
mission
the
control
tap
as
off
well. But just
tap
telling us
off
we did
combustion
clear
cycle.
through a little bit of a hold.
You want to
we're
know
going
what
towards
is
sort
it?
of the middle part of the window
I guess
here, but we did have a
we
window this
can
morning.
go a
had
little bit
time
less
to
about this
recycle, and we'd like to listen right in
about
to
this
mission
orbital
control
rocket
as the
bodies.
teams
Or
step
another way
through
we
all of
say
those recycle steps.
rocket
Make sure
is also
everything was
launch
good to
vehicle
go.
because
Don't trust the arrow just because
it
it was fine
launches
the first time.
something
It's going to be fine
and
the second time.
it's
They want
also
to do
a
that
vehicle
whole
something like that.
again.
So that's
In
why
fact, you heard
we
the
also call
pull
this launch
in the
vehicle.
recycle.
That's one thing
And
for
that was
sure.
cool. You actually have to make sure everybody's ready to
So,
start the recycle operations.
yeah,
And then we heard them pull for another go.
maybe
And the clock is counting
yeah.
down right now because we did
I'll just
get
open
that
the
second go, and we are
showing
down
picture,
to
so
almost
I'll
T-minus
be able to
12
see what's
minutes.
there.
Now,
You guys cannot
taking
see
some more
there,
questions from
but
chat over here. I did see
but you can see this is
folks
the
asking
rocket
where
engine,
they
how
might be
it
able
looks
to see
like
the rocket
on
from.
the
As the sun gets a
on
little bit higher in the sky, it'll be a little bit brighter, so maybe a little bit
if you see
difficult
the
to
structure,
from some of the
each
further
of these
away locations,
stages
all the way
actually
over in
they
Phoenix
put
or all the way up to Portland. That might be a little
it
bit
depends
far out
on
as the
what
sun
what type
brightens
of
up the
tank
sky a little bit. But if you're down there
they
in
put there
LA,
and here.
make sure
But if you
after
see
you see it launch
here
on the stream,
blue
step outside,
on
look
the
out over the
that
ocean,
blue
see if you
tank
can't
color
see
is actually
Alpha
the liquid
going down
oxygen,
south. It's a southern trajectory this morning,
everything is
carrying that
here is
Lockheed Martin
built
satellite, and you may see
using
it going
carbon
past.
fiber.
Here's a viewing
Actually,
map. It
you
actually
can see
takes the rocket
the
a little
blue
bit of
one
time to
on the
travel
first stage and the second
downrange.
stage.
So
The first
here at
stage is
T
pretty
minus
long.
plus,
You can see
45,
pretty
50
long
seconds.
there.
There's Los
Blue and
Angeles
yellow
about
is pretty long,
mid-in, so
and
if you see it launch
separated
on
by
the stream,
the
you do have
second
time
stage.
to
You
step
see
out your door
those
and look.
big
All the way
nozzle
up to
there.
San Diego at about a minute
Okay.
and a half.
You can see
Like I said,
the blue
Salt Lake
tank
City,
is the liquid
Portland,
oxygen
way
tank,
inland like Arizona,
and
New
the
Mexico,
yellow
Albuquerque,
is
Phoenix
basically
there.
the
That might be more difficult with the sun a little bit
RP1
brighter
fuel
in the
tank,
sky.
or
But you know,
basically another way to
what do
say
you
is
have to
the
lose?
refined
If you see it launch
kerosene
here
fuel
on the stream,
tank.
step outside, look over
Also
to the
all
west,
composite.
snag a picture
And
on social media. If
in
you
the
get something
middle
on your phone
of
or your
first
camera or
stage
whatever,
tank,
tag
you
us
see
over on social media.
it's
We'd
actually
love to
the
see
helium
how other
tank,
people
basically
experience
responsible
the
to
launches
not only
here,
pressurize
especially
it
when you're
enough,
able to
but
see
also
them
to
from
all
all
of
these
that
different locations, all up and down
propellant line,
the west coast of the
basically
United States
including
this
the
morning.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to sprint out
basically
of the
including
control
fuel
room
and
to the
oxidizer
studio and try to
going
stare up
down,
in the sky, but I
to
would
give
like
the
to.
The
pressure
circle
so
does not
they will
reach
be able
Austin,
to
Texas, which is where we are
below
broadcasting from today.
below there to be burned on the
Let's see.
rocket
I
engine
guess
on
real
the
quickly, we're
combustion cycle,
broadcasting
and
from
then
Austin, Texas.
goes still
because that's where
going
Firefly
out
is based. That's where
through the
headquarters is.
north,
Yes,
you
our
know.
headquarters is in a place called
And
Cedar Park.
Right.
the same
a
can
little
be
bit
said
north of
on the
Boston
second
downtown, and
second
then we
stage,
actually
but
have our
the
manufacturing control
difference that
facility
if you see
kinda
on
like
this
30-ish minutes north
on the
of Cedar
second
Park. So
stage,
That's
the
the
helium
testings,
tank
right?
is basically
that's,
very small.
birds.
It
People
doesn't
call it
need
rocket ranch
that
sometimes.
that heavy
Yeah, it's pretty close
stuff
by,
anymore
which is
because you know,
nice and also
not
sometimes
really
annoying.
rocket Aerospace. And
Because
you can just
It's like, can you run up to bridge real
seamlessly
quick?
yeah,
just
he's like, yes, I can,
integrate
but
it
also,
on the
man.
low side,
Again?
not really that far from
Just
the
remember,
rocket
there's
engine,
structures
so
up at bridge.
why
Like,
not
that's
just
where
put
you
it
want to go
there
hang out.
so you can stay
Those are
close.
my people.
So that's why.
All right, folks. 9
Okay,
minutes
and
and
this is
40
the
seconds
ferry,
for
and
the new
it can actually carry
T0 here.
up to
Let's once again
1,000
run through what we
kilograms or
expect to
around
see
1 ton.
after liftoff.
Yeah,
Again,
that's that.
when
Another
the rocket lifts
fact
off the
you need
pad,
to know
we're going to
about
let
this
you
one.
listen in to the sounds of the pad, the rumble of the rocket
And
as it goes downrange.
the
So
second,
now is the time to talk through it while the rocket is sitting serenely on the pad.
and
Warren, what can we
you see,
expect after liftoff?
I will,
Or right before
I will,
liftoff and then after liftoff.
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
actually
So let's
explain a
run through
little
it
bit
again.
better
At T-minus 2
why the
seconds,
rocket
you'll see
nozzle
those
on the
reavers.
second
You'll
stage
see the candle light.
are
So
way
they'll
bigger on
start
this
going before the
compared
rocket is allowed
to the
to lift
first
off
one,
the
which
pad.
Right.
which
Again, we do
has
this so that the
the
reavers, we
shorter
can make sure that they're
nozzle.
healthy, they're allowed to
And
spool
this
up
is how
and
it
gain
looks like.
power,
You see,
all that good stuff. We want to make sure
this
that
is the
if we
combustion
needed
type
to
of combustion cycle there.
abort and hold,
Almost,
we could
almost
do that.
similar
So
idea to
that is what
the
that extra 2 seconds is
to
for
the
right
gas
before
generator,
launch.
but
Right.
And
difference
then at
that
T minus
has
0 seconds, we
like,
actually release
let's
the
just say sort of like
mechanisms that are
two-stage
clamping Alpha
preburner
down to the
compared to
pad.
gas generator
And
only
Alpha will
one
start to lift away from the
preburner,
ground.
one preburner.
At about
So you can
plus
see all of
56
that
seconds, if memory
exhaust
serves, we're at Mach 1,
waste,
so we'll
all
go
of
supersonic.
that
And
waste
at T
needed
plus 1 minute and
to
6
move
seconds, we're
all
doing
of that
something called
all
max
of that
Q.
turbine
Again, that's
inside the
max
combustion
aerodynamic
chamber
pressure.
would be going up
Kind of, in a lot of
out
cases, not
through
all,
the small
the
nozzle,
most
while
stress that
the main
the
one, some of
airframes
it
will
will
see.
also
It's
be
weird,
flowing
like
back
people,
inside
if you're
inside
near
the
rockets,
combustion
might
chamber.
think, oh, well, right when you take off, that has to be
Oh,
the
that's strong,
most, the most force that happens on the rocket, but it's actually a function of
Okay.
the weight of the rocket.
Wake up, Alpha.
We hear the giant voice going in the background out of Vandenberg, it sounds like. It's the wake-up call for Alpha.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's actually a
that's
function
strong, but
of
okay. And T minus
the,
8,
the density of
7
the air,
minutes and
the
55
weight of the
seconds
vehicle, the thrust
before
stays the
liftoff,
same, but the weight of the
and you
vehicle
can see
goes down
those
because
first
it's
stage.
blowing up
The,
the
the
propellants and
reason
throwing them out of the back.
you can
It's how
see
it's generating thrust, right?
after that some
So
of
just
the
the combination of all these forces, like
preburner
one graph is
exhaust will
increasing,
also
one graph is
go
decreasing
into the
as the air
combustion
gets
chamber
thinner, and they
to
intersect at a point.
maximize the
And
thrust.
that point is
Because
max Q.
especially if
Yeah, that intersection is
because
between
especially
static pressure and
this
dynamic
stuff,
pressure.
if you just waste that
So what?
thrust,
It's
it can
again,
be a
it's different
difference
for rockets and
between
airplanes.
is it
But
going
for
to
rockets, yeah, you're exactly
orbit,
right. Like
going
as
to
we're going
orbit
faster and
around the
faster,
Earth,
we're getting
or
lighter and
is it
lighter, and
only
also
going to
the
space
density
and
of the
just
atmosphere
going
is getting
to
less and
back
less.
Right.
We hit this
to
kind
us?
of
So that's why
breaking point
they have to
where
maximize
the
everything
airframe is
they
stressed
have
as
to
much
do.
as we
You know,
expect to see it stressed
there
in
is
everything.
tons
So yeah,
of
again, that happens at T plus 1 minute and
pipe,
6 seconds. That is
lining,
called max
and
Q.
whatnot.
And
That's
then
basically
about,
all of this scope. You know,
quite a
it
little
can
over a
be
minute after
welding.
that, we'll actually
Some
hit
of
a
it
MECO,
could
which is
also
the main
be
engine cutoff.
3D
Right.
You
printed.
see
You
the
know,
reavers shut down, and we'll kind of coast for a couple seconds.
the wonder of
And then we'll have
all the
nominal
technical
stage
stuff.
step at T plus 2 minutes and
And
37
this is
seconds.
another view. How it looks.
Right after that, lightning will kick off, and
We
we'll
move.
start to kind of pull
You
away
see
with
those
stage 2.
red ribbon? That's
And
basically, if I
nominal
remember
faro
it
jettison will happen
right
shortly
here.
after that.
It actually
They've
right.
protected the
We
payload
move
for
before
its trip
flight.
to space.
Yeah,
We don't need that
this is
mass
also
anymore.
some
So we
ongoing
shed it.
jokes also
And then we'll be burning
for
for
the
about 6 minutes, a little
inside
less
the
than 6 minutes
aerospace,
until we
basically
hit SECO, which
taken
is
from
our
the
second engine cutoff.
aeronautic
And
stuff.
then
You know,
today is
those
actually
airplanes
something
flying
important
stuff
to
and
note is
whatnot.
we do have a
Aerospace
planned
also
comms blackout
took this
at T
concept
plus
too.
9 minutes and 17 seconds after SECO.
And
Okay, so going down
the
with the
second
southern trajectory,
stage,
you'll be flying a
stage
lot
here,
over the
it's
Pacific
only have
Ocean,
one
and that expected
one
planned
rocket
comms
engine. If I
blackout
remember
means
the
we
name
will no longer
here
have
is
vehicle
lightning.
telemetry coming back in
Lightning
real
is basically
time,
the
and we'll no longer have the vehicle
vacuum
cameras
optimized
that we hope to
version of
share
the
with you
shorter
as long as we can.
shorter nozzle
But that comms
on the
blackout is actually
first
going
stage.
to
This
last a
shorter
little
nozzle
bit
actually
longer
calls
this morning,
reverb.
all the way up to
This
T
one
plus almost
it's
35
actually
minutes.
called lightning.
Yeah, it lasts quite a while.
And
We're effectively,
the reason
like I
why
said, we're going over the Pacific Ocean.
why
There's
they
no
actually
ground stations
why
down there.
every
We don't have
rocket
a line of sight to
on the
anything.
second
Right.
stage really
Pacific
need
Ocean
this
is
bigger
Look, out of
bigger
range
nozzle
of
is
the
that
rocket cell phone towers.
because you need to
so we don't
remember
You know what I mean.
But yeah.
all of the
Close.
atmosphere
And,
Make it accessible for
atmospheric
people.
pressure is no
You're
longer
going too far. You don't have cell
in the
signal
space. It's
anymore.
Yeah, I
basically
think if
almost
anybody's watching this
non-existent.
rocket
It's
launch
very
at
very
the
little.
time it is in the morning,
It's
they're
no
interested
longer
about
can
rockets. At least I hope so.
able to keep the
But yeah,
shape
we'll
of that
actually have
of
our
the
payload
rocket flames
deployment
inside.
in that
Basically,
parent
let's
block.
just
So that will
say
happen at T plus 12 minutes and 42 seconds.
restricted
So we
inside
won't
of
actually
the
see it
nozzle,
live
so
today.
it will expand and
We're going to
expands and
regain
expands
comms again
as
at T plus
much as
34 minutes,
possible
so
as long.
way after
as
payload
long there
actually
is
deploys.
virtually
Right. And the
almost
important thing here is
like
while all this is
molecule
happening,
gases
the
can just
rocket
go
isn't
out
sending the telemetry to the
to
ground in
whatever
real time.
speed,
The rocket's
velocity,
recording
whatever
everything
it wants to
that's
go
happening.
out
It's
of the
recording the
exhaust speed.
telemetry, the
It will
data,
just
it's
get out
recording
whatever
video
it wants.
even, and then when we regain that ground
Leaving out,
station, we're going to start downlinking that information. Now, of course, much
just
to
like
my
the
chagrin as
butterfly
the
or
video
maybe
camera
flowers,
guy, the
whatever you like to
telemetry
call
goes
it.
first.
Yeah.
The
So
important
that's why
data, the
if you
bits
have
and
this
bobs, I guess mostly
bigger
bits
nozzle,
there,
you can
that
actually
tell us the
capture
health of the vehicle and exactly what happened.
you are
Those
able to
come down
capture and
first, and it will
extract
take
how
quite
much
some time longer
of that
to get the
thrust
more
loss
heavier
as a
payloads from a data
of the
perspective.
thrust.
The
Basically,
video
thrust is
files
another way
come down so
we
that
define it
those
as
can be shared. But we
a
are now less than
force that
5
keeps pulling
minutes
of
away
the rocket.
from
It's
launch.
like if you ever heard this Newton's law
And stand by for more
for
information.
for every, if I remember, for every action there must be reaction, something like that. Yeah, so everything you push, there must be something will be going out equals of that. So that's why we need this. So we are able to capture and extract and maximize as many thrust efficiency and basically
As you can see in
many
the upper
forces as
left-hand
we can
corner, it
keep
looks
this
like we
rocket.
have encountered another hold
And usually, let's just say
here. We saw that pop
if they
up.
want to
We are
shorten
going
the
to get you
orbit
more
a little bit, they
information
don't
on
care
the
about
current
losing
status.
thrust. They can
Hang in there with us,
just
and we'll let
cut
you
off
know
those
the cause of this hold.
those big nozzle here and just let it in. If I remember, some of the Falcon 9 missions actually just did that. They just cut that big nozzle and then let the missions move on. Yeah, some of it actually does that. And this is how the type of stage combustion cycle looks like. You can see the first start up, the fuel and the oxidizer will go. Some of it will first going into the preburner first, and then through this preburner it will move all of this important turbine, this
All right, folks, got you some more
turbine
information on
to
the cause of
move it
this
and
hold. It sounds like the hold is due to GSE, something with the power systems that teams are currently working through and assessing their options. Now, remember, we did have a window this morning. So we started off the day with a 52-minute launch window. Still have some time to work through things here.
Okay,
but we will
that's
keep
all.
you up
That's
to
all.
date on this current status.
So it looks
We're
like we have
listening
hold
just a
at
little bit
around
here
T
and see
minus
what
4 minutes
information
and
we can get. But
44
again,
seconds.
we are in
I
a
mean,
hold
even
of
GNC.
Flight 6,
Go.
Firefly
if you even
Alpha
know the
rocket.
number 4,
ADI, go for recycle. FTS,
sometimes
go.
it's the
FISPO,
Go.
MIFCO, PMM,
Go.
MA,
Go.
OSM,
Go.
CE,
Go for recycle.
MD, LD,
Go.
FSW.
Go.
Uh-oh. Don't say to me we are going to be cycled back at T minus 15 minutes. Let's see. What's the another option? Oh, and in case you want to know, I'm using since
LCD1, we've set the clock for 14:29:47. That is the last minute available in the window. We will be moving towards that and doing the last poll before terminal count.
okay, so if that launch window, if every of that last minutes no longer they cannot fulfill that anymore, so basically the launch got scrapped for today. But I hope we don't,
It
because
sounds
I
like
want
the
to see
update from
the
Mission Control
rocket
there
for
is
today.
that they are
And
looking
plus-
at a new T0 that is near the end of the window. Again, did have some time here today in that 52-minute launch window to work through issues as they arose.
Oh.
And it sounds like that is the current plan. The poll you just heard was the recycle poll. Remember, there's the go polls to make sure everything is ready to
basically
go.
recycle.
And
Basically
if they
reset.
need to
Reset.
coordinate stepping into a recycle, you'll hear a
Important
recycle
to
poll
check
like that. So
everything.
what we just
And-
heard, you heard one of the stations actually say go for recycle. That was a recycle poll to make sure everybody's on the same page to step through the events needed to get the vehicle back to a known stable state so they can shoot for this next launch window.
Right now,
Stay
going
tuned,
at
and as soon as we
minus
get that exact
21
number,
minutes
which
and
will appear on the screen. But
30
we'll
seconds.
see if that clock that we have been shared with here is going to be the attempt that they are going for.
Okay,
If we
hopefully,
hear anything back from
today,
Mission
because
Control, we will
this is
let
the
y'all listen in.
last
But
attempt
we
ever
were talking
for them
through
to
sort of the
recycle
expectations
it back.
here, and we were
Anything
mentioning
happens,
how
basically the
that
launch has to be
the ground stations work, and the telemetry
launch
comes
calls
down from the rocket, and
call
we
off,
know that
which
there's
means
that
we
planned
don't have
communications blackout
room
after
at all.
launch. About
We don't have
less
that.
than 10 minutes after launch,
We don't
we're
have
going to
that
go into a known
pointy
planned
upward,
communication blackout, right,
flame
Morgan?
it downward.
That's
We
correct.
don't have
Yeah,
that
so we'll pass
action anymore
out of line of sight for many ground stations,
for that.
and we won't get back
But
in line of sight of any
don't
until
worry
T-minus
about that
about
because
35 minutes.
we also
And
going
that's
to
what we were talking
we
through
have
was the
another
first
opportunity
stuff,
to
most important stuff to
actually
come down
see the
is not the
launches,
large video files that
and
we all want to
today
see.
is
I
going
deeply
to be
apologize.
very,
It's
very,
okay.
very
We want to know the health of the
days
vehicle.
for
We
me.
want to get that telemetry down first.
From
So
what
that is the top
I
priority
remember,
to
around
downlink from the vehicle when it
around
regains access to a ground station.
around less than
Now today,
around 5
we
hours from
expect
now,
the video payload,
we
or
are
video
going to also
replay
witness the launch
of the
of the
payload deploy
Long March
to not come
5B
through until
from
T plus 95
China.
minutes, almost
Basically,
an hour and a, or
they are
actually
launching
more than an
out
hour
of
and a
the
half after
Hainan
launch.
Island of the
So
7-net
with that delay,
LEO,
the
basically
plan
low
here
Earth
today
orbit
is after we get
number
a
3.
liftoff,
So we are also
we are going
going to
to
have that,
stop the
and
live views from the rocket
and
after SECO
and then
when we enter
not
that
long after that,
planned
around
communications blackout.
3
We don't have
hours
anything to
after
show you except
the
me and
launch
Morgan,
of that Long March
basically.
5B
And
rockets.
we'll talk
Yeah,
through a couple
that's going
more
pretty
things
brief
there,
because
but that is
we don't
intentional
we don't know
today. When we
about the
cut the
payload
stream, it's
itself.
because
I
we
can't
don't
even find
have
that
any more
information
telemetry
anywhere,
or
so
video
I just
coming
use
back down
whatever
from the
place
rocket.
over
And
from
the time
the
that it's going to
Tianwen
take us to get that video
satellite there.
downlinked
So
an hour and a
just
half
put it in,
afterwards. We'd love to hang out and just talk about structures for an hour and a half, right?
So much
I
else
would
we
love
can do.
to ramble about structures for as long as you'll let me.
Okay.
Andrew might
That's
have to stop me in
also
the background because I would absolutely start to get towards
whatever we can do.
proprietary territories because of how excited
So
I
I
am.
With
guess
95 minutes, we could actually hop in the car and drive up to Briggs and then go live from Briggs again.
Oh, yeah.
Future live stream. We're tossing out ideas for the comms team here.
yeah. So this
That
is
is
how
a
the
plan
rockets
today.
actually
We
looks like.
will begin to stop the stream here
Okay,
when we
I can
receive
show a little bit
when we're not
of
receiving the telemetry or the video from the vehicle.
type
And the
of
next time we
combustion
get
cycle.
that delicious
To
visual assets
continue
to
the
share with you, the downlink
conversation,
of the payload
those
deploy,
fuel and
that would be
oxidants,
so long
some of them
after
will go
liftoff
on the
that we will
pre-burner
not stay live that entire time.
pre-burner
So
cycle
just setting some
to move
expectations there.
those
We know that
turbines.
there's going to be a comms blackout. It's
This
how physics
those
and
two
I guess
turbines
geography works,
to
right?
be out,
There's
and
just
some
no
of
ground
that will
station where
be
the rocket is flying over, and the
will
amount
be
of time it takes
going
to
out
downlink
to the
these
exhaust.
files
You
will
see
be
those
such that we do intend to
those
intentionally stop the
those
stream
small
before
what is
we
it?
get to payload
Those small
deploy.
yeah.
So where are we at?
Those small
T
exhausts here,
minus 18
basically
minutes.
going out
18
from there.
minutes 45 seconds. Again, if we get more updates
And
from
then
Mission
some of
Control,
that will
we'll let you
also
know if
use
that is the
not only
time that's
that,
going
but
to
also
stick. Are they
let's say
going
some of
for
the
very end
very,
of the
very
window
cool,
now? We will get you that
cold
information as
fuel, or
well.
maybe
But we appreciate you hanging
cold
out with us. Let's see if
oxidizer
we
will
can't
actually
find another couple
flow
questions
inside
for
the
chat. Give me just a second to
inside
run
the
through some of
rocket
them.
engine cooling jacket, so you'll be able to chill down, basically cool down the
Just remember,
rocket
if
engine,
you have
and some of
questions
it
for us,
will
you can tag us in
actually move
chat.
here,
Just
and the
Firefly
pre-burner cycle will
space over
also
there
not only
in the
move
YouTube
the
chat.
turbine, but also some of it will go inside the inside the combustion chamber, okay, and then it will light up here on the combustion chamber,
All
and then
right.
and then the pressure is pretty high here,
Don't forget, tag
and
us in
even
chat
the
over there,
temperature
folks, and
is
we
also
will
pretty
see
high
if we
around
can answer some questions because we do have a
surface
little bit of
of
time. Does
and then
everybody need to
what's
know what
going
happens
out
before after
out
liftoff again?
from this
I think we've covered that one pretty
through this
securely
nozzle,
here.
People get a little
basically
annoyed
going
when
out
we
from
cover
this
that again.
chart.
You know what I'm interested in is
The
the
temperature
next
will be
liftoff.
basically half
Back there at Briggs, you were talking about
half
having
of the
more rockets sort of in the barn, structures in various
let's just
phases
say
of
surface of
production
sun's
for
temperature
the next flight. How
with the
not
pressure
how
is
many,
going even
but do you have
lower.
a budget?
Basically,
Do you have
because
room
of
for
that,
more
it's
rockets at
also going to
Briggs?
We
to
kind
cause
of
the
don't, at
rocket
least not
engine
in
exhaust to
Boeing 6,
just
which is where all the structures
excite
are
and
made.
pretty
We
going
have
pretty
3
fast
rockets beyond Flight
out,
6 currently in various
spewing
manufacturing
out
stages.
to the
So yeah, you can't walk
to the
around Bubble
nozzle.
6 without bumping into
Basically,
one
if I'm
structure or
bumping
another.
into structures.
Yeah,
quickly,
we
it's
have
around
updated
3.
our tools and processes
It can be
like
pretty
crazy,
dependent.
and that's why we
Sometimes
have
it
so
can
many
be
in
like
development at once.
2.5 to
I talked about
0.6
AFP before, that big
kilometers per
robotic arm
second.
and lay down
So
strips of
speed
carbon
to
fiber.
Yep, very
somewhere else
precise,
around
repeatable manner.
or
Yeah, exactly.
4
we also have
4.3
something called a 7-axis power mill.
kilometers per second, depending depending on what
it's
types
another
of
big robotic arm because those are my
propeller
end favorite, and it
loading inside it.
the purpose of that
FSW.
one is
Usually
to be
the
able
most-
to kind of trim the
GSW.
ends of the barrel.
Hold.
Okay.
GSV.
Go when the clock is fixed.
Prop 1.
Go.
Fluids 1.
Hold on helium.
Structures.
Okay.
AVI.
Go.
FTS.
Go.
GC.
Go.
VC.
Go.
PMM.
Go.
Elbow.
Go.
FISPO.
Go.
MIFCO.
As
Oh,
we
so-
both shut down.
MIFCO. Awesome.
Go.
Rock.
Go.
MA.
Go.
CE.
Hold.
Wow.
LD.
It's from the restarts. If you reload your plots, you should be able to mostly see
I need a
things.
clock. Hold.
Go.
Okay, looks like some of it is holding. So not pretty sure we might be able to proceed the flight. Maybe the stream. Maybe we are going to see launch stop because it looks like we don't have any available opportunity right now. That's pretty sad. This is pretty.
All right, as we were stepping through the pole there, it sounds like we heard a couple of holds.
Okay.
One was helium there. I think Fluid
Yeah.
said a hold on
Helium
helium.
related.
And then one was software, I think, Morgan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ground
Software.
support. Software?
Ground support.
All right, so let's see what happened. There was also a call for a correction to the clock. We had sort of alluded to that. We knew the clock was up there, but we wanted to verify whether or not that clock was what they were counting down towards. Still at T-minus 15 minutes. We don't have the hold officially up there yet, so let's see if we can't get some more information for you. Of course, like we said,
Okay.
letting you listen into mission control.
Auto sequence restart again, but we are not sure is the flight's going on. Yeah, I mean that's the reality. That's basically how do we wait? Oh, first it looks like hold, but
All right,
Is
brief
that-
update. It sounds like the clock that they are currently targeting is the last second of the window. We had 52 minutes this morning, and the T0 that they are working towards is the last second of that 52-minute window, literally using all the
Alpha,
time
on T1,
available
we are
to
scrubbed
get Alpha
for
off the
day.
pad
There
this
are
morning.
some anomalies that we are working. He's making calls with
okay, some anomaly, but they will try their best. So hopefully we are not looking at launch scrub because if launch scrub.
All right, folks.
Oh, no.
There you heard it
Crop,
straight from
crop.
Mission Control.
No.
The fastest information you could get, but they have
Launch
called
didn't
a
come.
scrub for the day. Couple anomalies they were working. You heard right there from Mission Control. We'll get
Okay.
you a little bit more information on
Launch
that.
scrub,
But if you're
everybody.
following along, officially
sorry.
Alpha's Flight 6 out there at Vandenberg is scrubbed for today. Now, we'll go through just a couple more things here
What the
with
fuck?
you. It's not unexpected.
Oh, no.
Scrubs happen. I mean, the thing that I usually end up saying is that you'd rather be on the ground wishing you were flying than flying you were wishing you were on the ground. Morgan, let's
Yeah.
talk a little bit about the next steps here after the scrub.
We need to rate
Yeah, so like you
Go
said,
to-
scrubs are kind of a dime a
because
dozen.
we're
They happen all the
because
time.
we are also going
This
to
is a
have
very
stream
complex
on.
operation we're
T-shirt
doing.
actually for scrubs.
Oh, really?
A scrub T-shirt.
Yeah,
About
well,
three-
at this
three
point, the team will
minutes.
now work with the range
Oh,
and our customer,
technically.
Lockheed Martin, to determine the next available window for launch. It could be as soon as tomorrow.
Oh.
We'll keep everybody updated. And our ground support team will assess this current situation and work on the pad to solve the issue as quickly as possible so we can get back to launching as quickly as possible.
Yep. Folks, we'll keep you informed with more details as to what's going on, but again, officially scrubbed for today.
Yeah,
Sounds like an
launch
issue with the
attempt
ground support
scrub
equipment
right
that
now.
the teams are going to work through. In that final poll there, we did hear a couple of teams call in with holds, both on the software side and the fluids side,
Okay,
it sounded
I'll
like.
just open the
So today, no launch for Flight 6 out there at Vandenberg. To keep up to date with the new launch date, make sure you're following Firefly on social media. There's a couple different places you can do that, mostly just Firefly Space, Firefly Aerospace, if you're looking for us. But this is going to conclude today's broadcast. Morgan, as always, thank you so much for joining me and helping me hold it down while we had
So
a
we are
couple of
going to
different
see the
scrubs
stream
there,
that for
continuing to communicate what's going on with the viewers back at home.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure. I had a great time. I
Keep
love
us
doing
on.
this, and hopefully next time we can see it.
no,
All
yeah,
right.
3
And
plus
folks,
morning.
thanks to you at home as
around
well for
4
joining us.
p.m.
This is
from
how it goes in the launch industry.
the launch
Did
would
not get
happen,
a launch
but they
today.
don't
Have a
watch it
couple
live
days
for me.
left in the actual launch window, extending all the way up to the first, if I'm not mistaken.
No way.
And we are going to share with you exactly what date we'll be able to target over on social media. Maybe as soon as tomorrow, maybe a couple days after that. But keep in touch so that you know what's going on. Thank you
and
again
by the
so
way,
much for joining us
NASA
and hanging in there
NASA
with us
Space-
over the launch broadcast.
Spaceflight
My name is John
actually,
Galloway for
actually
NSF,
stream this,
and we
but
will see you
because they
nerds
use
later.
60 frames per second, so pretty quick, of course. Okay. This is how it looks like. Okay, So because of that, I have to use this space affairs live streams because the NASA specify actually uses 60 frames and go, and it's really better for speed benefit. Cautious. So yeah, yeah, looks like looks like it's game over. We have to wait for how so yeah. By the way, yeah. Thank you, Neil. By the way, Fast and Temp. This is as best as I could do. I can try to entertain as much as possible, but there's a lot of interruption. Like, hey, go, whatever Paul says, go. So I have to, like, okay, I need to stop. I need to listen what they say, and that's why you see why actually going pretty silent. But yeah, party pooper. But yeah, thank you. Okay. So yeah. That's all. Looks like we cannot do anything much, but next Monday, tomorrow, next morning, around 4 a.m. we are going. If the launch is not getting any scrap and whatnot, we are going to see the launch of the Long March 5B. That will launch SatNet, or basically Guowang, Leo low Earth orbit satellites group. Okay, group number 3, and around 3 hours later, if this launch also not suddenly didn't move around or getting any scope and whatnot, we are also going to see the we are also going to see the Atlas 551 rocket that will launch the Amazon's Project Kuiper, or Kuiper, whatever you want to pronounce it, into the low Earth orbit. Basically, let's just say it's like a competitor to the Starlink. I mean, those two, if you see the parallel, it's basically like the Starlink competitor, you see. So that's that. I don't want to waste too much time, because otherwise, if I waste too much time, I could have been too tired to stream by tomorrow. So yeah, I need to do plenty of rest. But before I rest, I need to prepare a little bit for the premiere and whatnot. I need to update some stuff so I can prepare for the whatever, just do some post description, whatever, all slightly behind the scene. Fortunately, that's the only thing I need to do, because I need to fit in those blue sky post sound. So pretty sad. And also I need to update that too. So yeah, we are going to update the launch this stream count. So today is not 27th. This is scrub. So we are moving in. I will move that count. So that's all. Thank you so much for watching, and and to anyone's watching here, especially Myom Nako and Yoda Man. Yeah, Yoda Man. Pretty sorry. Launch scrub is a bin party pooper a little bit, but better safe than rot. Rapid unscheduled disassembly. Basically, just another way to say rocket malfunction, rocket explodes. Better be safe than nothing. So that's that. This is me, Denim Suguwa, signing out. And if you're watching this on replay, please don't watch this. This launch got scrubbed. That's it. You're going to waste too much time. So that's all. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye. And yeah, I need to leave a little bit message here before we are moving in. Okay, so that's it. See you guys again for this morning. Bye. So that's it. Nothing much else to say here behind the screen, or behind the scene, whatever. Maybe we can. Maybe the best way How do I remember this? Maybe let's just say behind the scene, behind the screen. I don't know. I like this both. Whatever word is it. So that's it. Nothing else you want to hear here. Hear this now. Okay. So that's it. Bye bye. I've already covered every ground. So yeah. See you this morning. 3 hours from now. Bye bye.